It began on a Tuesday night. The kind where the streets outside Bellevue Hospital were wet from a light drizzle. The cold crept into your bones if you stood still too long. The fluorescent lights inside felt too bright, too artificial, and the scent of disinfectant never really left your lungs. I had been on night shifts for almost a year, and though the morgue had always been unnerving, I told myself it was just a room, just metal drawers and silence. Now that night a body came in from the East River. No name, no ID, no one to claim it. The gurney squeaked as two orderlies rolled it into the basement, leaving a faint trail of river water on the linoleum. I caught a glimpse before they zipped the baguette's face, bloated, skin pale and translucent under the flickering lights. The eyes were gone, just dark hollows where they should have been. The elevator ride down to the morgue was long enough for my mind to start running. You learn to push away the unease, but tonight it clung to me. The basement smelled different. It's not just disinfectant and cold air, but something sweet and foul, like flowers rotting in stagnant water. I signed the intake forms alone at the desk. The security camera feeds played in the corner of my vision, grainy black and white shots of empty corridors. Only one of them wasn't empty. In the feed for Corridor C, just outside the freezer room, a shadow moved past. No one else was supposed to be down here. I told myself it was a trick of the camera, maybe a glitch. I looked up, expecting to see someone walk by the glass window. Nothing. Just the hum of the refrigeration units. The bag on the gurney twitched. I froze. My pen slipped from my fingers, clattering against the desk. Slowly, I stepped closer, telling myself it was my imagination. But the zipper teeth rattled just slightly, like a breath had escaped from inside. My hands were cold when I reached out, and for some reason, I unzipped it a few inches. The smell hit me first. Salt water, blood, and that same floral rot. The face inside was tilted toward me, mouth half open as if mid-word, but the sockets were empty voids. For a second, I thought I heard the sound of water dripping not from the ceiling, but from inside the bag. I zipped it shut, maybe too quickly, and wheeled it into the freezer. The drawer groaned as it slid in, and the door sealed with a hollow clang. I made sure to latch it. Twice. Hours passed in a haze of routine. Paperwork, coffee, the constant low hum of the freezers. But somewhere around 3:17 a.m., the hum stopped. The silence was sudden, almost physical. I checked the control panel. Power was fine. Every drawer was still locked except one, the one I had sealed earlier. It was open. Empty. A cold draft brushed past my legs, and I spun around expecting to see one of the orderlies playing a prank. No one was there. The camera feed for Corridor C was dead static now. The elevator dinged in the distance, though no one had called it. The doors opened with a sigh, revealing only darkness inside. I took a step back toward my desk, my breathing shallow. My radio crackled to life. ... Help me. It was a wet whisper, barely audible. I pressed the talk button, asking who it was. Nothing but static answered, then the same voice, closer this time, behind me. I turned, and there it was. The drowned man stood just beyond the desk, water pooling at his bare feet. His head tilted unnaturally, and the hollow sockets where his eyes should have been seemed deeper than before. It's black enough to swallow light. Its mouth opened wider than humanly possible, and the sound that came out was the gurgle of river water pouring over rocks. I ran. The basement corridor seemed longer than I remembered, the flickering lights stretching each shadow. The elevator wasn't an option. I hit the stairs 2 at a time, my lungs burning. But every landing brought me back to the same hallway, the same desk, the same dripping figure. He was closer now. His skin looked swollen, fingers blackened at the tips, nails curling like claws. The smell of rot was overwhelming, clawing at my throat. I ducked into the autopsy room, slamming the door and locking it. My hands shook so badly I dropped the key twice. The steel tables were cold against my back as I pressed myself into the corner. The sound of water began seeping under the door, puddling on the floor. I could hear footsteps, slow, deliberate, splashing toward me. The lights went out. In the darkness, I could hear him breathing. Or maybe it was me. My phone lit up suddenly in my pocket. I didn't touch it. The screen read, "Look." I didn't want to, but my head turned toward the far corner of the room. Something was standing there. It's taller now, as if it had stretched. The drowned man's jaw unhinged and swaying like seaweed underwater. His hands twitched at his sides before he took one long, dragging step toward me. I backed away until the cold steel pressed into my spine. He leaned in close, and the sockets where his eyes should be were now full not with eyes, but with writhing black shapes, moving as if alive. They spilled out, crawling over my face, forcing their way into my mouth and nose. I couldn't scream, couldn't move. My last thought before everything went black was the taste of river water filling my lungs. When they found me the next morning, the lights were on, and the room was dry. The cameras showed nothing but me walking calmly into the autopsy room and never coming out again. They said I drowned, in a locked room with no water source. The drawer in the freezer was closed when they checked it, and it was full again.